Welcome to the NBA Coast to Coast podcast brought to you by thelines.com. Coming to you from the West Coast, Josh Lander, joined by Nate Weitzer on the East Coast. And it's Monday morning. Kyrie Irving is a Dallas Maverick, and we have an 8-game slate here to go through with you guys. In this one, we're taking a look at the Dubs. They're playing host to the Thunder. We all know Steph Curry is still slated to miss a good amount of time here, but the Dubs are still 3.5-point favorites, and I think we're going to be taking a look at them in this one. Also have the Blazers and the Bucks up for you in a game video and our player props, so make sure to like and subscribe to that page. Also want you to head to thelines.com. That's where you can check out all the great written content we have up there for you guys, and use our odds finder tool to make sure you're getting all the best juice back you can on these bets you're making in the NBA this season. Nate, let's go ahead and jump into this slate and then talk Thunder and Dubs.
Yeah, we got the Celtics minus 11 in Detroit. They're still trying to kind of find their rhythm without Marcus Smart right now. Cavs on a back-to-back are minus 3 at Washington. No Kuzma tonight, maybe no Brad Beal. The Nets forging on without Kyrie, plus 7.5 at home against the Clippers. Always got to watch if the Clippers might rest guys because they see a shorthanded opponent. Spurs are plus 11 at Bulls. Lots of guys questionable on both sides there. Kings are minus 5.5 at Houston. The Mavs are plus 10 at Utah. No Luka, and also Dinwiddie and DFS are not going to play because they're in transit in that trade. Bucks minus 4 at Portland. We look at that game. Totals all the way at 242. Intriguing under there, I guess, but we like the Bucks even better. And then the Thunder plus 4 right now at Golden State, total of 234 without Steph. And you asked me, am I worried about the Thunder having the best record against the spread as dogs? And I think I would be if they weren't, I think that impacts the line so much at this point that, the Thunder routinely covering. So they set this almost to the point that, like, the Thunder are favored, in my opinion. Like, you shouldn't be only plus 4 at Golden State unless you're a really competitive team that's expected to go in there and really give the champs a run for their money. And Steph in or out, whatever. It's the home road splits is the bigger deal for Golden State. It's just the energy in the building, the energy they're going to be able to bring off the bench with their superior depth here. The last 3 at home, lighting it up per usual. Since they collapsed against Brooklyn, actually lost a few in a row at home. But now they're averaging 123 with 35 assists, hitting 15 threes at over 42%. Sure, Steph has a lot to do with that. But, you still got Poole and Clay, who I think you can definitely target both of their props in this spot and expect them to just kind of make that Thunder defense stretch a little bit. And that Thunder defense is really good. On the road this season, 5th in 3-point defense, 5th in transition D, number 1 assist to turnover ratio, but vulnerable down low. They've got that revolving door at center. They don't really have any rim protection. They're dead last in free throw attempts allowed on the road, 21st in paint points. So, the Warriors have made a living for a decade off getting defenses to overcommit to the 3-point line. Even without Steph, they can do that, and then they can get down low and get their easy points. But and you look at Thunder's recent meetings in Golden State. A lot of these were a long time ago, but 92 points per game on just awful splits. Got pummeled on the boards. The last one was with SGA. They didn't have him for those first 2, and they were just shamelessly tanking in 2021. He struggled a bit. And then they met a week ago in OKC. Golden State, again, lit them up in terms of 37 assists, 23s. SGA tried to keep his team in it, 31, but below 50% field goal shooting. 5 turnovers, was a team worst minus 15 when he went on the floor. So that, to me, indicates that Golden State, all year, when the other team has a guy, especially if it's in Golden State, that guy is going to perform below expectations because Draymond is the coach on the floor, because they have pretty good personnel. They got Wiggs back now too, right? So, they've got guys to throw at SGA to make it difficult. And as good as Giddey's played lately, OKC does not really have much beyond that. And the big advantage here is the fourth quarter and clutch stats. If I'm worried about the Warriors covering 4, I think I would feel much better when I see this fourth quarter start to unfold and they just maybe pull away, win by 7 or 8. Because, the Thunder are 28th in offensive rating in the clutch, and dead last in net rating in their last 5 clutch games, dead last in offensive rating, negative 15 net on the road on the season, and allowing the eighth most points per game in the fourth quarter overall. So I think Golden State at home, there's little chance they don't pull away for this one.
I think it's fair. I like it. Yeah, I think the best logic that I've heard for it is the trends against the spread and what OKC is able to do as dogs, whether they're at home or on the road this season. They've got the best record as dogs wherever they're playing. Like you said, it's not based on a 3-4 point spread. It's not the type of situation that you take OKC in and feel a little bit better about them. Wiggins being back is huge. He's had to guard their best player. There's a reason he's still playing 32 minutes a game in the last 4 since he's been back, while still only averaging like 11 points per game for a guy that they need to score a lot more, because he's guarding the best player for all 32 minutes that he's on the floor each and every time in those last 4 games. As we saw, he would have guarded Luka if he had to, but guarding Ant against the T-Wolves, and even in that Thunder game, spending most of his time on SGA and a few minutes here and there on Josh Giddey. But he's definitely needed for SGA is the combination of size and strength that needs to, and speed obviously, to be able to stay in front of a guy like SGA and keep him out of the paint, because if he gets into the paint against this team, there's no help coming. James Wiseman has been getting a few more minutes. 16 and a half in the last 4 games he's played once, and he got 16 minutes in that really ugly game versus the Nuggets that they got blown out in, despite Steph playing in it. So there's nothing down there for them. And Draymond, while he has been a bit better, as you said, captaining the defense, it's not there for him in terms of getting those rebounds necessarily and being someone who comes in and blocks shots. That hasn't been his MO. I think the thing that you can do against the Thunder is occasionally make some threes. At least on the road, they have a decent opponent 3-point percentage, but you can still get those off and make them, and that's really what it comes down to for the Dubs, especially at home. Without Steph, obviously a little bit worse in the key places that are that Dubs basketball really is, which is 3-pointers and assists, but three less assists a game in the 15 games that Steph has not played. About 1.5 threes fewer made when Steph's not in the game. Poole, while he just skyrockets in terms of his stats, 28 points a game versus the 17 when Steph is in there. 6 more minutes, a 36% usage versus 26 when Steph is in there. His splits are still bad. He's not shooting well when Steph's not on the floor. He's just shooting a ton more. So it doesn't necessarily make him efficient. It's just that they're at that point, he's been the offense. And also, like I said, Wiggs has only been back for a few in the last 4, in which they played one home game in that those last 4 games that they've played. So not much to go on there. I think they're going to be a lot better at home. Their last 3 at home, where they beat Dallas, no Luka, Toronto, and Memphis. The clutch numbers for them were great in those games, and then they've been, they were good against the Thunder as well. But at home, 10-4 in these games where they get into clutch time with the 6th best net rating and a 95 defensive rating. So they are able to clamp up a bit at the end of games when they need to and sort of take things seriously. I'm scared of a total here, Nate, because I could see it going under but I feel actually a lot more like it would go over. I'm just not quite as confident. That the reason I think it would go over is if the Dubs start turning the ball over, to be honest. And that's what the Thunder do the best on the road. They force the most turnovers to their opponent, and then they're obviously in the top 5 as a result in second or fast break points and off of turnovers as well, where that's what the Dubs do, right? We've just seen them do stupid thing after stupid thing. Steph Curry's been in this league long enough now, but still making the same level turnovers at the end of games at times that, I know he's not playing, but I'm just saying he's emblematic of the team, and the way that they, the way that they sort of turn the ball over in really poor moments. And that's how teams stay close to them. But in that clutch time that we've been talking about at home, that's where they've been limiting those turnovers, limiting teams getting their fast break points and points off turnovers. So if the Thunder aren't going to do that and they're not able to get in transition and the Dubs do get back a bit better, then I think you like their half court defense at home versus the Thunder a little bit more than if they were on the road where they just hemorrhage points. So like you said, I think you just believe the Dubs. It's almost like Steph being out isn't necessarily as big of a deal for this game, but it does help us get that spread down to basically below 4, where I feel comfortable taking them at home against almost anybody at this point. They just beat the Grizzlies at home, covering this spread without Steph, right? So I think you feel good enough about their ability to do that against the Thunder here.
Yeah, I mean, they've been a really weird team, even when Steph is out or in, when their entire starting lineup's out. They beat Cleveland right after, collapsing against Brooklyn with Steph in there. So yeah, I think that's why you can kind of capitalize on this being a smaller spread. what you said about the total, yeah, I mean, this could go either way in a really stark direction. The Thunder, it's a front end of a back-to-back. They got the Lakers tomorrow. They could pack it in, and they might not get to clutch time. They've gone under in 5 straight road games. Their offense is far, far worse on the road.
Yeah.
Whereas Golden State's much, much better at home and tends to play at that faster pace. So it's when we talk about this, and we always seem to go back to, I like the Warriors team total. I like them to score and the other team not to score. It's like, yeah, obviously just take the spread at that point.
Right.
There's a lot of scenarios where the Warriors can win this game by more than 4 or 5 points.
Yeah, exactly. With different styles of play and different sort of key stats that they're honing in on, like those fast break points and 3-point shots and assists and all that. So I think we'll be talking a bit about some player props from this one in that video. So make sure to like and subscribe to that page. You can continue to follow along with us. Check out the other game video and those player props that we went really, really well last week for us. So until we see you next, happy betting.